Welcome to Sleepy Theories. In this video, we'll explore 100 theories about humanity and history. Right now, there's only one thing you need to do. Relax. Put on your headphones. Turn off the lights. There's nowhere you need to rush to. This video is here to help you sleep. 1. Humans created by the gods. According to this idea, human beings do not exist as a random product of the universe, but as the conscious result of a divine will. In myths and sacred stories, the gods create humans sometimes from earth, sometimes from light, or sometimes from words. From this perspective, a human is not only a living being, but also a being that carries meaning and is connected to a purpose. The idea that humans were created by the gods offers a calm and ordered framework for questions about our origins. Life is seen not as a collection of coincidences, but as part of a greater design. Within this order, the human becomes a being who carries responsibility and tries to understand the role that has been given. This way of thinking gives existence both value and a sense of direction. Instead of feeling alone and adrift, a person places themselves inside a larger story. This narrative offers a peaceful way to imagine humanity and the universe as a calm and unified structure shaped by divine intention. 2. Humans formed from clay. According to this idea, humans are shaped from one of the simplest and most basic materials of nature, earth or clay. In many myths and sacred stories, the human body is taken from the ground and then given life. From this point of view, the human is both a part of the earth and a being that brings meaning to it. The idea of being created from clay emphasizes the bond between human origins and nature. The human body is a part of the soil, and life begins when breath is given to this matter. This way of thinking reminds us that humans are both fragile and precious, and that they exist in a deep connection with the natural world. This narrative gives existence both humility and a sense of belonging. Instead of seeing themselves as separate from the universe, a person sees themselves as something born from its substance. This perspective offers a peaceful way to think about humanity and life as a simple and calm unity. 3. Humans brought to life by the breath of God. According to this idea, the human body is not made of matter alone. What truly gives it life is a divine breath or spirit. In many stories, the human is first formed, and then comes to life through the breath of God. From this perspective, a human is seen as both a body that comes from the earth and a being animated by a divine source. The idea of being awakened by God's breath emphasizes that humans are not only physical beings. Life is thought of not as a simple movement, but as a gift that carries meaning and awareness. This approach connects the inner world of the human thinking and feeling to a divine source, and offers a deeper frame for understanding existence. This narrative gives existence both value and a sense of responsibility. A person sees themselves not only as a body, but also as a being entrusted with a life. This perspective offers a peaceful way to think about humanity and life as a calm and respectful whole. 4. The Golden Age of Humanity. According to this idea, humanity once lived in a simpler, more peaceful, and more harmonious time in the past. This period is called the Golden Age. In myths and ancient stories, people in this age live in peace with nature, far from pain and conflict. The world is described as a place that has not yet been broken, and that exists in harmony with human life. The idea of the Golden Age allows a comparison between the past and the present. Over time, it is said that order was disturbed, humans moved away from nature, and life became more complex. This way of thinking carries a quiet sense of longing for the simplicity and balance that were once believed to exist. This narrative gives existence both nostalgia and hope. A person believes that a more balanced way of life was once possible, and may begin to wonder how that harmony could be sought again. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about human history and life as a simple and peaceful whole. 5. Humans as the children of the gods. According to this idea, humans are not only created beings, but also beings who carry a bond with the gods, sometimes seen as their children or descendants. In myths and ancient stories, the boundary between gods and humans is not always clear. At times, humans are believed to have a divine origin. From this perspective, a human is thought of as a being that belongs to the earth, yet carries a celestial past. The idea of being the children of the gods changes how humans place themselves in the universe. Rather than feeling alone or ordinary, a person feels like part of a greater story. In these stories, human strength, intelligence, or destiny is connected to a divine origin, and life becomes more than an ordinary process. It becomes a meaningful journey. This way of thinking gives existence both closeness and a sense of value. A person sees themselves as a bridge between heaven and earth, feeling both limited and meaningful at the same time. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as part of a calm and unified story. 6 demigods. According to this idea, some humans have both a divine and a human origin. In myths, such beings are described as heroes who stand on the boundary between gods and humans, and who possess extraordinary powers or abilities. From this perspective, demigods are seen as a bridge between two worlds. The idea of the demigod invites reflection on human limits and human potential. These beings carry human weaknesses on one side, while showing traits close to divine power on the other. These stories express, in symbolic language, that the human being is both fragile and capable of great achievements. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of wonder and a sense of restraint. Demigods remind us that power also brings responsibility and limits. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and the idea of heroism as a calm and balanced whole. 7. Humanity as a divine mistake. According to this idea, humanity may not be the result of a perfect and deliberate plan, but of a deviation or an unexpected outcome within the divine order. In some myths and philosophical stories, the existence of humans is treated as something that even the gods did not fully foresee. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who overflows the order, yet still remains within it. The idea of a divine mistake offers a symbolic frame for understanding human imperfection and the disharmony of the world. Pain, conflict, and uncertainty are seen here as unavoidable shadows that accompany human existence. This approach gently reminds us that the human is both a seeker of order and a disturber of it. This way of thinking gives existence both humility and a thoughtful distance. A person sees themselves not at the center of the universe, but as an unexpected part of a larger and more complex story. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and the world as a calm and non-judgmental whole. 8. Humans created to be punished. According to this idea, human existence is connected from the beginning to the notion of a test or a punishment. In some mythological and symbolic stories, humans appear as the result of a fault committed against the gods, or as the price of a cosmic balance. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who comes into the world not only to live, but also to pay a price, or to carry a burden. This idea offers a calm framework for making sense of pain, hardship, and injustice. The difficulty of life is seen here, not as coincidence, but as part of a greater order. The human becomes a being who is tested within this order, and who searches for meaning at the same time. This way of thinking gives existence both seriousness and a sense of inner questioning. A person begins to think about life not only in terms of comfort and happiness, but also in terms of responsibility and confrontation. This perspective offers a gentle way to consider humanity and life as a calm and non-judgmental whole. 9. Prometheus giving fire to humanity. According to this idea, humanity gained its knowledge and civilization through a gift that was stolen from the gods or taken from them in secret. In Greek mythology, Prometheus takes fire from the gods and gives it to humans. This fire is not only a physical light, but also a symbol of reason, skill, and awareness. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who moves from darkness toward light. The story of Prometheus explains human development and the urge to push limits in symbolic language. Fire makes both warmth and creation possible, but it also brings responsibility and a price to be paid. In this story, knowledge and progress are not only gifts, but also paths that come with risk and sacrifice. This way of thinking gives existence both courage and a sense of restraint. A person sees themselves not as a passive being, but as one who learns, explores, and grows by paying a cost. This perspective offers a gentle way to consider human history and the idea of progress as a calm and thoughtful whole. 10. The lost golden age of humanity. According to this idea, humanity once lived in a more balanced, more peaceful, and more complete way, but this period was lost over time. In myths and ancient stories, this lost age is described as a time when people lived in greater harmony with nature and with one another. From this perspective, the human sees the present world as a shadow of a former wholeness. The idea of the lost golden age adds depth to the human sense of history and time. Difficulties, conflicts, and chaos are seen here as signs that something has been diminished or broken. This way of thinking allows a person both to feel longing for the past and to question the present. This narrative gives existence both a quiet sadness and a silent sense of searching. A person wonders whether the harmony that once seemed possible can ever be found again. This perspective offers a gentle way to consider the story of humanity and life with a calm and unified sense of longing. 11. The myth of the first human couple. According to this idea, humanity shares a common origin that begins with a single man and a single woman. In many cultures and belief systems, the first human couple is described as both the beginning of the human line and the symbolic starting point of the human story. From this perspective, a human is seen not only as an individual, but also as a being who shares a common past. The myth of the first human couple offers a calm framework for thinking about human origins and the sense of unity. The idea that all people come from the same beginning strengthens the feeling that, beyond our differences, we carry a shared story. This narrative reminds us that no one is truly alone, but part of a long and collective journey. This way of thinking gives existence both closeness and a sense of responsibility. A person sees themselves not as a solitary individual, but as a link in a long human chain. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and human history as a simple and unified story. 12. Humanity defying the gods. According to this idea, the human is a being who wants to go beyond the limits set for them, who asks questions, and sometimes even stands against the gods. In myths and ancient stories, this defiance is often connected to the search for knowledge, the desire for freedom, or the attempt to change one's fate. From this perspective, the human is seen not only as obedient, but also as questioning and willing to take risks. The idea of defying the gods expresses human free will and the possibility of paying a price in symbolic language. In such stories, crossing boundaries brings both progress and loss. The human learns and grows, but also makes mistakes and faces the consequences. This narrative shows both the brave and the fragile sides of human nature together. This way of thinking gives existence both courage and a sense of restraint. A person sees themselves not as someone who only accepts what is given, but as a being who seeks meaning and pushes boundaries. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about the human story as a calm and non-judgmental whole. 13. Humans carrying a soul. According to this idea, the human is not made of body and matter alone. Within them, there is an unseen essence whose presence is felt, the soul. In many beliefs and philosophical approaches, the soul represents human consciousness, identity, and the deep connection with life. From this perspective, the human is seen as both belonging to the world and opening to a deeper dimension. The idea of carrying a soul offers a calm framework for understanding the inner world and the search for meaning. Thoughts, emotions, and conscience are seen not only as biological processes, but as reflections of a deeper layer of existence. This approach allows the human to see themselves not just as a body, but as a being with inner depth. This way of thinking gives existence both value and a sense of inner sensitivity. A person sees themselves not only as a temporary body, but as a life that carries meaning. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life with calm and unified depth. 14. The cosmic origin of humanity. According to this idea, the human is not only a being of the earth, but also a product of the long and deep history of the universe. Elements formed in stars, over time, make planets and eventually life possible. From this perspective, the human body is seen as a kind of cosmic heritage, shaped from material that comes from the stars. The idea of humanity's cosmic origin considers the bond between humans and the universe in a calm and wide frame. The human is not separate from the universe, but a natural continuation of its processes. This way of thinking offers a sense of balance, making one feel both very small and deeply connected to the universe at the same time. This narrative gives existence both humility and a sense of wonder. A person sees themselves not only as a resident of one planet, but as part of a cosmic story. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and the universe as a calm and unified continuity. 15. Humans coming from the stars. According to this idea, human origins are not limited only to processes on Earth. Our substance and our story reach back to the stars. In scientific accounts, many of the elements that form our bodies are said to be created inside stars. In mythological and poetic interpretations, the human is described as a guest who has come to Earth from the stars. The idea that humans come from the stars expresses the bond between humanity and the sky in a calm and deep language. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who belongs to the earth, but also to the heavens. The fact that materials born in stars eventually make life possible becomes a quiet reminder of the connection between humans and the universe. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of wonder and a broad feeling of belonging. A person does not feel confined to a small world, but part of a much larger story. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified cosmic continuity. 16. The cyclical destruction of humanity. According to this idea, humanity is not a permanent story moving along a single line, but part of a cycle that appears, disappears, and begins again. In some myths and ancient stories, great disasters, floods, or cosmic events erase humanity, and then a new beginning follows. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being that is constantly renewed, yet also fragile. The idea of humanity's cyclical destruction adds a calm depth to our understanding of time and history. Progress is not described as an uninterrupted rise, but as a flow woven from beginnings and endings. This way of thinking allows the human to both want to leave lasting traces and to recognize their own impermanence. This narrative gives existence both humility and a sense of renewal. While thinking that their own civilization may one day come to an end, the human also feels that life can appear again in different forms. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and time within a calm and unified cycle. 17. The Great Flood and the Rebirth of Humanity. According to this idea, humanity is almost completely destroyed by a great disaster, and then begins again through the survival of a small group. Flood stories told in many cultures carry both destruction and a new beginning at the same time. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who makes mistakes, yet is also able to stand up again. The story of the Great Flood expresses, in symbolic language, both the fragility of humanity and its power to renew itself. The old order is covered by water, and only the seeds of a new world remain. It carries the idea that destruction is not always the end, but sometimes opens the door to a quiet beginning. This way of thinking gives existence both seriousness and hope. The human feels that even after great losses, life can continue and a new order can be built. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about the human story as a calm and unified process of renewal. 18. Humans serving the gods. According to this idea, human existence gains meaning not only to live, but also to serve the gods and maintain their order. In some myths and ancient stories, humans are described as being created to lighten the burden of the gods, to organize the world, or to fulfill sacred duties. From this perspective, the human is seen as part of an order greater than themselves. The idea of humans serving the gods offers a calm approach that understands life through duty and responsibility. Daily work, rituals, and effort carry meaning not only for survival, but also for the continuation of the cosmic order. This way of thinking places what humans do into a wider context. This narrative gives existence both meaning and a sense of direction. The human feels not like a being who lives at random, but like a part that has a role within a greater whole. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life, with a calm and unified sense of purpose. 19. Humanity as a sacred experiment. According to this idea, humanity may be part of a sacred experiment carried out by the gods, or by a higher intelligence. In some mythological and philosophical stories, human existence is described as a process meant to test the limits of the universe, morality, or consciousness. From this perspective, the human is seen not only as a living species, but also as a being whose meaning is being explored. The idea of humanity as a sacred experiment places human uncertainties and contradictions into a calm framework. Mistakes, suffering, and successes are seen as natural parts of the experiment. The human becomes a being who is both observed and learning within themselves. This way of thinking gives existence both curiosity and a sense of responsibility. The human sees life not as a random process, but as part of a wider search for meaning. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a calm and unified process of discovery. 20. The forgotten wisdom of humanity. According to this idea, humanity once possessed a deeper knowledge or a more complete understanding than it has today, but over time this wisdom was lost or forgotten. In myths and ancient stories, early civilizations, or the first humans, are often said to have had a knowledge more in harmony with nature and the universe. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who is trying to remember something. The idea of forgotten wisdom adds a calm depth to the human relationship with history and knowledge. Progress is not always only about moving forward. Sometimes it is like trying to find something that was left behind. This way of thinking reminds us that the human is both a learner and a loser of things. This narrative gives existence both a sense of longing and a sense of searching. The human dreams not only of discovering new things, but also of restoring an old balance. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and knowledge as a calm and unified process of remembering. 21. Giants and humans. According to this idea, humanity once shared the world with beings much larger and stronger than itself, giants. In myths and ancient stories, giants sometimes represent the raw power of nature, and sometimes an older and more primitive order. From this perspective, the human is seen as a smaller, but more adaptable being. The story of giants and humans explains the human place in the world and changing orders in symbolic language. The disappearance or defeat of the giants often means the end of one age and the beginning of another. In these stories, the human stands out not through strength, but through adaptation and intelligence. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of moderation and hope. The human feels that even forces that seem greater than themselves can, over time, give way to a new order. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and the world as a calm and unified story of change. 22. The divine trial of humanity. According to this idea, human life is not only a collection of random events, but also a process of testing within a higher meaning. In many beliefs and stories, earthly life is seen as a place where human actions, choices, and intentions are tested. From this perspective, the human is thought of as a being who acts freely, yet whose actions carry meaning. The idea of a divine trial places the difficulties and uncertainties humans face into a calm framework. Pain, loss, and joy are seen as situations that reveal the inner world and character of the human. Life thus becomes not only something that is lived, but also a journey in which a person comes to know themselves. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of responsibility and hope. The human feels that their choices have value, and at the same time believes that this process has meaning. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a calm and unified process of testing and growth. 23. Humans learning from the gods. According to this idea, the human learned knowledge and skills not only through their own effort, but also from the gods or higher beings. In myths and ancient stories, things such as writing, agriculture, crafts, or laws are often said to have been taught to humans by divine sources. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who learns and passes things on. The idea of learning from the gods gives a calm meaning to the origin of knowledge. Knowledge is thought of not only as something discovered, but also as something entrusted. In this narrative, the human is responsible not only for using what they have learned, but also for protecting it and passing it on to future generations. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of gratitude and responsibility. The human does not see what they know as belonging only to themselves, but as a heritage that comes from a greater source. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and knowledge as a calm and unified process of learning and transmission. 24. The cursed origin of humanity. According to this idea, humanity carries, at its beginning, a mistake, a crime, or a rupture, and this mark accompanies existence across generations. In some myths and religious stories, it is said that an error made by the first humans left a shadow that spread over all humanity. From this perspective, the human is seen not only as the heir of an innocent beginning, but also as the heir of a burden. The idea of a cursed origin tries to explain human encounters with pain, conflict, and lack in the world in symbolic language. Difficulties are thought of not only as coincidence, but as traces of a deep past. This approach reminds us that the human is both limited and a being who faces their own story. This way of thinking gives existence both seriousness and a sense of inner questioning. The human learns to live not only with the present, but also with the past they carry. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified frame of responsibility and awareness. 25. Humans as the chosen species. According to this idea, the human holds a special position among other beings in the world or in the universe. In some religious and philosophical approaches, qualities such as reason, consciousness, and morality lead the human to be seen as a chosen or privileged species. From this perspective, the human is thought of not only as a living being, but as a being that carries meaning and responsibility. The idea of a chosen species places the role and expectations humans give themselves into a calm framework. This privilege means not superiority, but greater responsibility. The human is associated with duties such as understanding, protecting, and guiding the world. This narrative reminds us of the burden that comes with human power. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of value and attentiveness. The human does not see themselves at the center of the universe, but as a being with a special role within it. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life with a calm and unified sense of responsibility. 26. Humanity created by God. According to this idea, humanity exists not as the result of chance, but as the work of a conscious will. In many beliefs, the human is described as a being created by God and given meaning and value. From this perspective, the human is seen not only as a product of nature, but also as the bearer of a special intention. The idea of being created by God gives a calm depth to human existence. Life is not thought of as a process that simply begins and ends. but as a story that carries meaning. The human does not feel like a drifting being, but like a conscious part within a greater order. This way of thinking gives existence both value and a sense of responsibility. The human sees themselves not only as someone who lives, but as the guardian of a life that carries meaning. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified frame of meaning. 27. The first human and the first sin. According to this idea, the story of humanity begins not only with a beginning, but also with a rupture. In many beliefs and narratives, a mistake or a boundary-crossing choice made by the first human is symbolized as the first sin. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who is gifted with awareness, yet also capable of error. The idea of the first sin places human struggle, regret, and inner conflict into a calm framework. Here, error is not only a fall, but also a threshold where awareness begins. The human often learns to distinguish right from wrong by paying a price. This way of thinking gives existence both fragility and a sense of responsibility. The human feels that they are not part of a perfect beginning, but of a journey that matures through learning. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a calm and unified process of facing and growth. 28. Humanity existing for a test. According to this idea, human existence in the world is not only to live and continue, but also to be tested and to mature. In many belief and thought traditions, life is seen as a field of trial where intentions, choices, and actions gain meaning. From this perspective, the human is thought of as a being with free will, yet also carrying responsibility. The idea of a test places the difficulties and uncertainties humans face into a calm framework. Ease and hardship are seen as situations that reveal the inner world of the human. Life thus becomes not only a passing process, but a journey in which a person comes to know and shape themselves. This way of thinking gives existence both seriousness and a sense of meaning. The human feels that what they experience is not random, and that every choice carries value. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a calm and unified process of testing and maturation. 29. Humans carrying a soul. According to this idea, the human is not made of the body alone. Within them there is an essence that cannot be seen, but whose presence is felt. In many beliefs and philosophical approaches, this essence is called the soul, and is connected to human consciousness, identity, and the search for meaning. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being that belongs to the material world, yet also opens toward a deeper dimension. The idea of carrying a soul places the inner world of the human into a calm framework. Emotions, thoughts, and conscience are understood not only as the result of biological processes, but as reflections of a deeper layer of existence. This approach allows the human to see themselves not just as a body, but as a whole with inner depth. This way of thinking gives existence both value and a sense of sensitivity. The human feels themselves not only as a temporary body, but as a life that carries meaning. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified depth. 30. Humanity created as a steward. According to this idea, the human is not only a being who lives in the world, but also a being who carries responsibility for an entrusted order. The idea of stewardship means that the human is tasked with protecting, watching over, and maintaining balance on Earth. From this perspective, the human is seen not as an owner, but as a trustee. The idea of humanity being created as a steward gives a calm meaning to the relationship between humans and nature. The world is thought of not as something to be consumed, but as something to be protected and kept in balance. This approach highlights not human power, but human responsibility. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of duty and moderation. The human feels that their actions affect not only themselves, but the whole world. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness of trust and responsibility. 31. Humanity's moral responsibility. According to this idea, the human is not only a being who lives and thinks, but also one who is responsible for the choices they make. The idea of moral responsibility accepts that humans have the ability to distinguish between good and evil and the power to act in line with this distinction. From this perspective, the human is seen as free, yet also accountable. Humanity's moral responsibility adds a calm depth to the relationships humans build with the world and with other people. Words, actions, and intentions are understood not only as momentary effects, but as things that leave longer traces. This approach makes living with care for oneself and for others meaningful. This way of thinking gives existence both seriousness and a sense of conscience. The human feels that what they do has value and consequences. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified frame of responsibility and awareness. 32. Humans having free will. According to this idea, the human is not only a being directed by external conditions, but a conscious being who can make their own choices. The idea of free will says that humans have the power to choose between different paths and to take responsibility for the results of those choices. From this perspective, the human is seen not as a passive observer of their own life, but as an active participant. The idea that humans have free will provides a calm foundation for the relationship between morality and responsibility. The meaning of choice appears only when there is a real possibility to choose. This way of thinking accepts that the human is a being who can make mistakes, yet also one who can search for what is right. This approach gives existence both a sense of freedom and a sense of responsibility. As the human draws their own path, they feel that every step carries both meaning and a cost. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified balance between choice and consequence. 33. Humanity between heaven and earth. According to this idea, the human is seen as a being who lives between two different states. On one side, the idea of a purer and more perfect happiness, and on the other, the life of this world with its limits and difficulties. In many beliefs and narratives, the human stands somewhere between these two realms, belonging neither entirely to heaven nor only to the world. This perspective places the human sense of longing and inner conflict into a calm framework. While imagining a better state, the human also carries the responsibilities of the present world. This duality allows the human to live with both hope and reality at the same time. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of seeking and a sense of balance. The human thinks of themselves not only where they are, but also where they wish to be. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified feeling of transition and in-betweenness. 34. Humanity's potential to be close to God. According to this idea, the human is not only a limited being, but also one who carries the capacity to move closer to a higher truth. In many belief and thought traditions, qualities such as consciousness, conscience, and love are seen as paths that bring the human closer to God or to a higher meaning. From this perspective, the human is thought of as a being who walks between distance and closeness. The idea of having the potential to be close to God adds a calm depth to the inner world of the human. Here, closeness is not a physical distance, but a state related to intention, direction, and inner maturity. As the human transforms themselves and searches for meaning, they feel this closeness becoming more visible. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of hope and a sense of effort. The human thinks that they are not enough as they are, yet they can move toward a better state. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a calm and unified process of drawing closer and of an inner journey. 35. Humanity changed by sin. According to this idea, humanity is no longer the same after a moment of rupture. In many beliefs and narratives, sin is seen as a turning point that changes human nature and the relationship with the world and with oneself. From this perspective, the human is thought of as a being who begins with innocence. but over time gains a more complex and difficult form of awareness. The idea of being changed by sin places the contradictions within the human inner world into a calm framework. The tension between knowing what is good and not always being able to do it is seen here as a natural part of being human. The human is understood as a being who can fall, yet also rise again. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of fragility and a sense of transformation. The human feels that change happens not only in the outer world, but also within themselves. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a calm and unified process of facing and reshaping oneself. 36. Humans carrying a sacred trust. According to this idea, the human is not only a being responsible for their own life, but also one who carries a sacred trust that has been placed in their care. This trust is sometimes understood as reason, sometimes as conscience, and sometimes as the world and life itself. From this perspective, the human is seen not as an owner, but as a guardian and a caretaker. The idea of a sacred trust adds a calm depth to the relationship the human builds with the world and with themselves. What is entrusted is not a power to be used freely, but a responsibility that must be carried with care. This approach reminds us that every human action touches a wider field of meaning. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of value and a sense of sensitivity. The human feels not only like someone who lives, but like a bearer of a meaning that needs to be protected. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness of trust and responsibility. 37. Humanity being valuable by birth. According to this idea, the human is not a being who gains value later, but one who carries value from the moment they exist. In many moral and philosophical approaches, a person's worth does not come from their strength, knowledge, or success, but simply from being human. From this perspective, the human is seen as having a value that does not need to be measured. The idea of being valuable by birth offers a calm foundation for the relationships humans build with themselves and with others. In this understanding, every person deserves respect regardless of their conditions or their mistakes. Value is not a reward that is earned, but a reality that needs to be protected. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of security and a sense of compassion. The human feels worthy without having to prove themselves. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified frame of respect and human dignity. 38. Humans being held accountable. According to this idea, human life is not only something that is lived and passes, but also a field of responsibility filled with meaning. In many beliefs and moral traditions, it is accepted that the choices people make, the words they speak, and the intentions they carry all have consequences. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who acts freely, yet carries the weight of what they do. The idea of accountability gives a calm gravity to human actions. Nothing is completely lost. Every attitude leaves a trace. This understanding encourages the human to look at themselves and at the world with greater care and attention. This way of thinking adds both seriousness and a sense of honesty to existence. The human feels that they are accountable not only to others, but in a sense also to themselves. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified frame of responsibility and awareness. 39. Humanity as part of a divine plan. According to this idea, human existence does not stand within a chain of random events, but within a wider and more meaningful order. In many belief and thought traditions, it is accepted that the universe and the human, even if they cannot be fully understood, are parts of a plan. From this perspective, the human is seen not as a being drifting alone, but as a part walking within a greater story. The idea of a divine plan gives a calm context to what humans experience. Events are understood not only as coincidences, but as small pieces of a larger meaning. This makes the human feel that not everything is under their control, yet not everything is completely meaningless either. This way of thinking adds both a sense of trust and a sense of surrender to existence. As the human takes their own steps, they also realize that they are moving within a greater flow. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified sense of meaning and direction. 40. Humans governing the earth. According to this idea, the human is not only a being who lives on earth, but also one who establishes order and gives direction. In many belief and thought traditions, it is accepted that the human carries a kind of responsibility and authority over nature. This idea of governing means not owning, but watching over and keeping balance. The thought of governing the earth draws a calm framework around the relationship between the human and nature. The human can shape their environment, but this power is not an unlimited right to use, rather something like a conscious trust. This approach highlights not human power, but human restraint and care. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of duty and a sense of responsibility. The human feels that what they do affects not only their own life, but the whole world. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness of guiding and protecting. 41. Humanity being fallible. According to this idea, the human is not a perfect being, but one who can make mistakes and be mistaken. Fallibility reminds us that humans are always limited in their knowledge, judgments, and decisions. From this perspective, the human is seen not as a being of certainty, but as one who lives in search. The idea of human fallibility adds a calm sense of humility to the relationships humans build with themselves and with others. The possibility of making mistakes invites the human to be more careful, more questioning, and more understanding. This approach also keeps the door open to learning and change. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of fragility and a sense of growth. The human learns as they make mistakes, and as they learn, they take more conscious steps. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of learning and maturing. 42. Humans being able to change through repentance. According to this idea, the human does not have to be defined by their mistakes and remain there. The idea of repentance says that the human has the power to recognize their wrong, turn away from it, and choose a new direction. From this perspective, the human is seen not only as one who can fall, but also as one who can rise again. The thought of being able to change through repentance adds a calm sense of hope to the human inner world. Here, a mistake is not the final point, but more like the beginning of a return. When the human can look honestly at themselves and at what they have done, they find the possibility of opening a new path. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of compassion and a sense of renewal. The human feels that while they carry the weight of their past, they can also rebuild their future. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of facing and transformation. 43. Humanity as a being with limits. According to this idea, the human is not a being who knows everything or can do everything. Their knowledge, power, and time are limited. These limits shape both how the human understands the world and how they relate to themselves. From this perspective, the human is seen not as something absolute, but as a being that exists within measure. The idea of human limitation adds a calm sense of balance to the way the human approaches life. Not being able to control everything leads the human to be more careful, more patient, and more accepting. This approach also reminds us that the human is a being who needs help, learning, and life together with others. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of humility and a sense of realism. When the human recognizes their limits as well as their strengths, they find a more balanced path. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified understanding of measure and balance. 44. Humans facing death. According to this idea, the human is a being who carries not only life, but also finitude. To face death means to realize that human existence is lived within a limited time. This awareness leads the human to see life not only as something that flows by, but as a trust that has value. The idea of death gives a calm weight to human choices and relationships. The fact that time is limited makes words spoken, actions taken, and bonds formed more meaningful. As the human knows they are not permanent, they feel the value of the moment more clearly. This way of thinking adds both seriousness and a sense of depth to existence. While the human accepts their finitude, they also see the value of life more clearly. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness and search for meaning. 45. Humanity's search for eternity. According to this idea, even though the human lives within a limited lifetime, they carry an inner turning toward what is lasting. The search for eternity appears when the human thinks not only about today, but also about what comes after. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who is not satisfied with what is temporary, but seeks a longer and deeper meaning. The idea of eternity places human hopes and questions into a calm framework. The wish for the works done, the traces left, and the values built to reach beyond time is part of this search. In this way, the human wants not only to live, but also to leave behind a lasting meaning. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of longing and a sense of direction. Within a finite life, the human carries a search for a meaning that reaches toward the infinite. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified desire for lastingness and meaning. 46. Humans caught between good and evil. According to this idea, the human is a being who, throughout life, has to choose between two directions. Good and evil here are not only abstract concepts, but real options encountered in everyday life. From this perspective, the human is seen as a being who is constantly deciding and shaping themselves through these decisions. The idea of being caught between good and evil places the tension in the human inner world into a calm frame. Every choice defines a little more of who the human is. This approach accepts that the human is neither completely perfect nor entirely dark, but rather someone who seeks a balance between these two sides. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of responsibility and a sense of awareness. The human feels that their choices carry not only immediate, but also long-term meanings. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of choosing and finding direction. 47. Humanity's sacred origin. According to this idea, human existence is not only the result of natural processes, but also rests on a sacred beginning. In many beliefs and mythological narratives, the origin of the human is explained through a divine will, a sacred touch, or a creation filled with meaning. From this perspective, the human is seen not as an ordinary being, but as one whose very origin carries meaning. The idea of a sacred origin adds a calm depth to the way the human looks at themselves and at life. The human is thought of not as a creature that appeared by chance, but as a being whose existence is connected with value from the very beginning. This approach encourages the human to be more careful and more respectful toward themselves and toward others. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of value and a sense of belonging. While the human thinks about where they come from, they also approach the question of why they exist in a calmer way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness of meaning and origin. 48. Humans as responsible beings. According to this idea, the human is not only a living being, but also one who carries responsibility through their choices and actions. The human is seen as accountable both to themselves and to their surroundings. This responsibility is not limited to actions alone, but also includes thoughts, intentions, and the general direction of life. The idea of being a responsible being gives a calm depth and a sense of measure to human life. The human acts with an awareness of the consequences of their actions, and this awareness calls for care toward both others and nature. This approach sees the human as a being who, together with power and freedom, also carries attention and consciousness. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of seriousness and a sense of awareness. The human feels that they affect not only their own life, but everything they interact with. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified sense of responsibility. 49. Humanity in need of divine mercy. According to this idea, the human is not in a position to manage everything by their own power and knowledge. They also need a higher compassion, that is, divine mercy. In many religious and philosophical narratives, the human's limits and mistakes lead them toward a greater source of mercy. From this perspective, the human is seen as both strong and fragile. The idea of being in need of divine mercy allows the human to accept their own limits and imperfections in a calm way. The search for help and compassion makes it easier for the human to understand not only themselves, but also others, and to form bonds. This approach allows the human to live with both humility and hope. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of humility and a sense of trust. The human feels that there is a support beyond their own efforts and meets life with a calmer acceptance. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a unified process of mercy and humility. 50. Humans created for a purpose. According to this idea, the human is not created only to exist, but to fulfill a certain purpose. In many religious and philosophical views, human life is shaped not by coincidences, but within a frame of goal and meaning. From this perspective, the human is seen not as a random being, but as one who carries a task and a responsibility. The idea of being created for a purpose gives a calm direction and meaning to human life. The human moves toward their purpose through the choices they make and the steps they take. This approach shows that even the small details and difficulties of life can be understood within a wider context. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of direction and a sense of value. The human feels that they are not only living, but also walking toward the fulfillment of a purpose. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness of goal and meaning. 51. The question, what is the human? This idea asks about the nature of the human, their meaning, and their purpose of existence. Is the human only a biological being, or a being who carries consciousness, soul, responsibility, and value? The question, what is the human, stands at the center of all thoughts and beliefs that try to define humanity. This question allows the human to understand both their inner world and their relationship with the universe within a calm frame. The human is seen as a complex whole, beyond body and mind, shaped by intentions, values, choices, and experiences. This view treats the human not only as an observed creature, but as a being who searches for meaning and is shaped along the way. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of depth. As the human tries to understand their own identity and role, they grasp life in a more conscious and integrated way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and comprehensive inquiry into existence. 52. The human as a rational being. According to this idea, the human is not only a creature with a body, but also a being who can think, question, and decide. Reason is seen as the fundamental trait that distinguishes humans from other living beings. The ability to solve problems, make plans, learn, and make conscious choices lies in human nature. From this perspective, the human is approached as a thinking and aware being. The idea of possessing reason gives human life a calm sense of awareness and direction. The human can act not only through instincts, but also through logic and judgment, and in this way understand both themselves and their surroundings. This approach reminds us that the human is a responsible, thinking, and meaning-seeking being. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of awareness and a sense of maturity. Thanks to reason, the human can shape their own life and evaluate the results of their decisions. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of consciousness and understanding. 53. The human as a social being. According to this idea, the human cannot exist alone. What makes life meaningful happens through relationships and communities. The human learns, shares, cooperates, and develops their identity as part of a society through interaction with others. From this perspective, the human is seen not so much as an isolated individual, but as a being who exists through connections and shared life. The idea of being social gives human life a calm sense of belonging and responsibility. By building relationships with others, the human shapes both themselves and their community. This approach highlights caring not only about one's own needs, but also about the well-being of those around us. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of belonging and a sense of empathy. By recognizing their relationships with society, the human adds value to both their own life and the lives of others. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of social connection and cooperation. 54. The human as a being who seeks meaning. According to this idea, the human does not settle for merely existing. They try to give meaning to their life, experiences, and relationships. The human questions why they exist, what they aim for, and which values they should follow. In this view, the human is seen not as a being who lives at random, but as one who is constantly in search of meaning. The idea of seeking meaning adds a calm depth to the human inner world. The difficulties, choices, and achievements encountered in life are seen not just as events, but as pieces of meaning that form a whole within the human's own story. This approach helps the human to evaluate both themselves and their life with greater awareness and consciousness. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of direction. Through the search for meaning, the human does not only pass through life, but also makes it conscious and valuable. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of exploration and meaning. 55. The human as a self-creating being. According to this idea, the human is not only shaped by nature or external factors. They can build their own life, character, and values through conscious choices. The human is seen as a being who has the capacity to create their own identity through their past, their decisions, and their actions. The idea of self-creation gives human life a calm sense of power and responsibility. Instead of passively accepting what happens, the human can give meaning to events and determine their own direction. This approach places individual growth and inner transformation at the center. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of freedom and a sense of awareness. As the human draws their own path, they feel that they have the power to shape both themselves and their life. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of creation and self-transformation. 56. The question, is the human free? This idea asks whether the human can truly make their own choices. Even if the human is limited by fate, biology, social conditions, and environmental factors, can they still act through their own will? The question, is the human free, is a fundamental one that tries to understand the balance between free will and determinism. The question of freedom adds a calm sense of depth to human life. When the human acts with awareness of their own choices, they live with responsibility and consciousness. Even if freedom is limited, choices made with intention and awareness give direction and meaning to human life. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of questioning and a sense of awareness. While the human recognizes their own limits, they also take responsibility for their actions. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified balance between freedom and responsibility. 57. Is human nature good or evil? This idea asks whether the human is born good or bad. Some philosophical and religious traditions argue that the human carries goodness at their core, while others claim that people are born with tendencies toward selfishness, ambition, or violence. This question is a fundamental inquiry into understanding human behavior and social relationships. The debate about good and evil nature allows the human to evaluate their own actions and choices within a calm frame. The human is seen as a being inclined both to compassion and love, and to anger and selfishness. This highlights the importance of personal and social responsibility. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of awareness and a sense of balance. By recognizing the complexity of their own nature, the human knows that through their choices they can affect both themselves and their surroundings. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified balance between good and evil. 58. Is the human a project? According to this idea, the human is a being who is constantly shaped and developed throughout life. The human does not exist only as they are born. Through their choices, experiences, and conscious efforts, they build their own identity and life. In this view, the human is seen not as something finished, but as a project in progress. The idea of the human as a project gives existence a calm sense of process. The human has the chance to keep improving and transforming by learning from mistakes and experiences. This approach encourages seeing life not as reaching a final goal, but as a journey. This way of thinking gives both a sense of hope and a sense of responsibility. The human realizes that they are the architect of their own development and can guide their life in a conscious way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of transformation and creation. 59. Can the human transcend themselves? According to this idea, the human has the capacity to go beyond their current limits, to improve themselves, and to reach a higher level of awareness or understanding. The human does not remain only as they are. Through effort, awareness, and learning, they can move beyond their own boundaries. The idea of self-transcendence gives human life a calm sense of growth and transformation. By learning from mistakes, making sense of experiences, and applying values with awareness, the human can become a more mature being. This approach encourages seeing life not as a stopping point, but as a journey that keeps moving forward. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of hope and a sense of responsibility. When the human recognizes their own potential, they can influence both themselves and their surroundings in a positive way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of growth and self-transformation. 60. A critique of the human-centered universe. This idea offers a critical view of the belief that the human is the center or the most important being in the universe. The human-centered approach often sees the human as separate from nature and the universe, and as a superior being. This critique aims to evaluate the human's place in the universe with a more realistic and balanced perspective. The critique of human-centered thinking gives human life a calm sense of humility. The human understands their role in the face of the universe's vastness and complexity, without diminishing it but also without exaggerating it. This approach helps us see nature and other beings not only as resources, but as valuable and integral parts of a whole. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of awareness and a sense of responsibility. The human learns to live not only for their own needs, but in harmony with the universe and all aspects of life. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness of balance and respect. 61. The human is a conscious being. According to this idea, the human is not only a living organism, but also a being who is aware of their own existence. Consciousness allows the human to think, to feel, to question, and to reflect on themselves. In this view, the human is seen not merely as a creature that reacts, but as a being who notices their own experiences and choices. The idea of being conscious gives human life a calm sense of awareness and depth. By acting not only through automatic reactions but through conscious decisions, the human can shape both themselves and their surroundings. This approach highlights the human capacity for responsibility, meaning, and learning. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of awareness and a sense of maturity. By using their own consciousness, the human can live their life in a more meaningful and integrated way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of consciousness and awareness. 62. The human carries an awareness of death. According to this idea, the human is not only a living being, but also a being who is aware of their own finitude. Awareness of death helps the human give meaning to life and recognize the value of each moment. In this view, the human is seen as a being who knows that time is limited and acts with this awareness. Awareness of death adds a calm depth to human behavior and choices. By knowing that they are temporary, the human can live more consciously, more carefully, and more meaningfully. This approach strengthens the sense of responsibility both toward oneself and toward others. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of awareness and a sense of meaning. By knowing that life is limited, the human experiences each moment in a more conscious and integrated way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified awareness of finitude and value. 63. The human faces meaninglessness. According to this idea, the human is a being who questions meaning at every stage of life. Some aspects of life may appear uncertain, complex, or even illogical, and the human must face this reality. In this view, the human is seen not only as a being who lives, but as one who struggles within a search for meaning. The idea of facing meaninglessness brings a calm sense of depth and acceptance to the human inner world. By realizing that not everything can be controlled and that not every event carries a clear meaning, the human learns to accept life as it is. This approach allows the human to relate to life in a more conscious and flexible way. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of awareness and a sense of maturity. When the human encounters meaninglessness, they can build their own values and their own search for meaning more consciously. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of acceptance and the search for meaning. 64. The human creates their own values. According to this idea, the human does not receive their values ready-made from the outside. They build them through their own experiences, choices, and conscious efforts. The human decides what is right, what is important, and what is valuable within the context of their own life. In this view, the human is seen not as passive, but as an active creator of values. The idea of creating one's own values gives human life a calm sense of strength and responsibility. The human does not rely only on the rules of others or on social norms. They question, choose, and apply their own values. This approach highlights the importance of personal maturity and authenticity. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of freedom and a sense of awareness. While creating their own values, the human shapes both themselves and their life in a more meaningful and integrated way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of creation and responsibility. 65. Is the human an illusion? This idea questions whether the human's existence and consciousness are truly real. In some philosophical approaches, the human's perceptions, thoughts, and experiences can be seen as nothing more than an illusion. In this view, the human may be thought of not as part of an absolute reality, but as a being that exists within their own world of consciousness. The idea that the human might be an illusion gives existence a calm sense of questioning and curiosity. As the human questions reality and their own identity, they find the chance to experience life with greater care and awareness. This approach sees the human not as a being of certainty, but as one who is always in a state of exploration. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of wonder and a sense of depth. By recognizing the limits of their own perceptions and experiences, the human can evaluate life from a more conscious and integrated perspective. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of questioning reality and consciousness. 66. Does the human work like a machine? This idea questions whether human behavior and thoughts are entirely mechanical and governed by fixed rules. In some philosophical and scientific approaches, the human can be seen as a biological machine that operates through chains of cause and effect. In this view, the human may be thought of as a programmed system, beyond conscious choice. The machine metaphor adds a calm sense of analysis and awareness to human life. By observing their behaviors, habits, and inner processes, the human can distinguish which aspects are automatic and which are conscious. This approach allows the human to be seen as both limited and open to change. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of realism. By recognizing the mechanical aspects of their own nature, the human can shape life through conscious interventions. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated process of consciousness and awareness. 67. The human and the problem of identity. This idea focuses on the human's constant questioning of who they are and who they will become. The human is not only a physical being, but also a complex structure of thoughts, emotions, values, and relationships. The problem of identity arises because this multi-layered structure changes over time and can sometimes appear contradictory. The issue of identity brings a calm sense of awareness to human life. While trying to understand and define themselves, the human faces different roles, expectations, and experiences. This approach allows the human to accept both their stable and their changing sides at the same time. This way of thinking gives existence both inner depth and flexibility. By realizing that identity is an ongoing process, the human can shape themselves in a more conscious and integrated way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of searching for identity. 68. The human and the problem of morality. This idea focuses on the human's questioning of decisions between right and wrong. The human does not act only through instincts and personal interests, but also through moral values and social norms. The problem of morality reveals the complexity of deciding which actions are right and which are wrong. The moral question adds a calm sense of responsibility and awareness to human life. By realizing that their choices affect both themselves and others, the human evaluates their actions more carefully and consciously. This approach encourages the human to understand the balance between good and evil, and to act with responsibility. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of awareness and a sense of depth. Through moral reflection, the human can shape both their own life and their surroundings in a more meaningful and harmonious way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated process of morality and responsibility. 69. The human and responsibility. This idea focuses on the human's capacity to take responsibility for the results of their actions and choices. The human is not only a being who meets their own needs, but also a being who carries responsibility toward both themselves and others. Responsibility is directly connected to human freedom and conscious choice. The idea of responsibility adds a calm sense of seriousness and awareness to human life. When the human acts with an awareness of the effects of their decisions and behaviors, they can shape both themselves and their environment more consciously. This approach presents the human as both strong and careful. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of maturity and a sense of balance. While guiding life with a sense of responsibility, the human builds both their own life and the world they interact with in a more meaningful and integrated way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and unified process of responsibility and awareness. 70. The human and freedom. This idea focuses on the human's capacity to make their own choices and to direct their life. The human acts by using freedom in the face of both external conditions and inner limitations. Here, freedom is seen not as acting arbitrarily, but as the ability to make conscious decisions and to take responsibility. The idea of freedom adds a calm sense of strength and depth to human life. By being aware of their own choices, the human knows that they can influence both their own life and their surroundings. This approach emphasizes that freedom must exist together with responsibility and awareness. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of strength and a sense of awareness. By using their freedom, the human shapes their life and chooses their own path consciously. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated process of freedom and responsibility. 71. The human and loneliness. This idea considers the human as a being who lives with others but also experiences loneliness in their inner world. A human can feel lonely even in crowds, because loneliness is not only physical but also emotional and mental. In this view, loneliness is seen as a space where the human is left alone with themselves. The idea of loneliness adds a calm sense of inward turning and awareness to human life. When alone, the human can hear their own thoughts, fears, and hopes more clearly. This can sometimes be challenging and sometimes strengthening. Loneliness can function like a pause that allows the human to get to know themselves. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of sensitivity and a sense of depth. When the human faces loneliness, they understand more clearly the value of both connecting with others and being at peace with their own inner world. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated process of inner balance and connection. 72. The human and the search for meaning. This idea considers the human as a being who does not settle for mere survival, but tries to give meaning to what they live through. The human questions what their actions, pains, joys, and choices mean. The search for meaning is like a quiet journey that continues constantly in the human's inner world. The idea of searching for meaning adds a calm sense of direction and depth to human life. Even when the human cannot find ready-made answers, they mature through the search itself. Sometimes meaning is hidden not in big goals, but in small and simple moments. This approach allows life to be seen not as a race, but as an experience to be understood. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of hope and a sense of patience. While searching for meaning, the human reshapes their own values, relationships, and their connection with life. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated process of searching and awareness. 73. The human and nothingness. This idea deals with the human facing the thin line between being and non-being. The human both feels that they exist and, at times, confronts the feeling of nothingness, emptiness, and meaninglessness. Here, nothingness can be thought of not only as absence, but also as a deep space of silence where the human becomes aware of their limits. The idea of the human and nothingness adds a calm sense of pause and depth to human life. When the human realizes that everything is temporary, they may turn to living their existence more consciously and carefully. The thought of nothingness can sometimes be frightening and sometimes simplifying. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of humility and a sense of awareness. When the human faces nothingness, they see the value of what they have and what they live more clearly. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated balance between being and non-being. 74. The human and self-deception. This idea deals with the human sometimes telling themselves stories in order to protect or comfort themselves, instead of seeing reality as it is. A human can deceive themselves, consciously or unconsciously, to avoid seeing their mistakes, fears, or weaknesses. This shows that the human has both a fragile and a complex inner world. The idea of self-deception makes a calm call for honesty and awareness in human life. When the human listens more carefully to their inner voice, they can begin to distinguish which thoughts are real and which are forms of escape. This approach allows the human to build a more open and more compassionate relationship with themselves. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of humility and a sense of maturity. When the human realizes that they are deceiving themselves, the possibility of change and of building a more genuine life also appears. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated process of inner honesty and awareness. 75. The tragedy of being human. This idea deals with the tension created by the human being both a creature who can think, feel, and imagine, and at the same time limited, fragile, and temporary. The human carries a consciousness that wants more, yet is limited by time, the body, and conditions. This duality can be seen as a quiet tragedy within being human. The idea of the tragedy of being human adds a calm sense of acceptance and depth to human life. The human both seeks great meanings and lives small lives. They both want to be lasting and know that they are temporary. These contradictions give rise to both pain and maturity in the human's inner world. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of sadness and a sense of wisdom. When the human accepts their own limits, they can live life in a gentler, more compassionate, and more honest way. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a calm and integrated balance between fragility and the search for meaning. 76. The human emerged through evolution. According to this idea, the human is not a separate being that appeared all at once, but a living creature shaped over a very long time through the accumulation of small changes. The idea of evolution sees the human not as disconnected from the rest of nature, but as a part that developed within the same process. In this view, the human is the present stop of a long journey that reaches deep into the past. The idea of evolution adds a calm sense of continuity and connection to human life. The human can realize that their body, behaviors, and some tendencies carry traces from very ancient times. This is an understanding that makes the human feel both more humble and more connected to nature. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of calm. As the human reflects on where they come from, they can see what they are today within a more peaceful and integrated frame. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a long process of change and continuity. 77. The origin of Homo sapiens. This idea focuses on understanding where modern humans came from and how they emerged. Homo sapiens is thought to be a species that appeared in Africa at the end of a long evolutionary process and, over time, spread to different parts of the world. In this view, the human is not a being that stepped onto the stage all at once, but a carrier of a very long past. The idea of the origin of Homo sapiens adds a calm sense of continuity and connection to human life. The human can realize that they carry traces of very ancient times in their body and behavior. This is an understanding that makes the human feel closer both to nature and to the past. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of humility. As the human reflects on where they come from, they can begin to see what they are today within a more peaceful and integrated frame. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as the quiet continuation of a long journey that has reached the present. 78. The out of Africa theory. According to this idea, modern humans first appeared in Africa and, over time, spread to the rest of the world in different waves. This spread is seen not as a sudden break, but as a slow and quiet journey that took place over a very long time. In this view, the human is part of a story that begins from a single root and opens into a wide world. The idea of out of Africa adds a calm sense of unity and shared past to human life. Even though there are different cultures, languages, and appearances, the thought that all of them reach back to a very ancient common beginning comes forward. This allows humans to see one another as closer and as travelers of the same journey. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of simplicity and a sense of depth. As the human reflects on their origin, they can see more calmly the long and patient process behind being spread across the world today. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long journey that unfolds from a shared beginning. 79. The evolution of the human brain. This idea considers that the human brain did not reach its complex structure all at once, but over a very long period of time. The brain slowly changed and developed through the needs of adapting to the environment, learning, and communication. In this view, the human mind is seen as a quiet product of a long evolutionary process. The idea of the evolution of the human brain adds a calm sense of wonder and continuity to human life. Abilities such as thinking, imagining, and creating meaning emerged through the accumulation of small changes from very ancient times. This makes the human more attentive and respectful toward both their own mind and their past. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of humility. As the human reflects on how their own mind was shaped, they can more calmly and fully grasp that the consciousness they have today is the result of a very long journey. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a long process of change and learning. 80. The evolution of language. This idea considers that the human ability to speak and share meaning did not appear all at once, but slowly took shape over a very long time. Language first existed as simple sounds, gestures, and rhythms, and gradually turned into a more complex and rich structure. In this view, language is seen as a natural result of the human need to live together and understand one another. The idea of the evolution of language adds a calm sense of wonder and connection to human life. The human can realize that the words and sentences used today are the result of a long process of trial and learning that comes from very ancient times. This allows language to be seen not only as a tool, but also as a kind of shared memory. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of continuity. As the human reflects on language, they can more calmly and fully understand that the ability to share thoughts and feelings is the result of a very long journey. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet adventure of creating meaning together. 81. The evolution of consciousness. This idea suggests that human consciousness did not reach its present depth all at once, but over a very long period of time. Consciousness took shape as abilities such as noticing the environment, remembering, learning, and recognizing oneself slowly developed. In this view, the human inner world is the quiet and cumulative result of a long evolutionary process. The idea of the evolution of consciousness adds a calm sense of wonder and continuity to human life. The human can realize that becoming a being who can think about itself is the result of small changes that reach back to very ancient times. This makes the human more attentive both to their own mind and to the long journey of life. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of humility. As the human reflects on how their consciousness formed, they can more calmly and fully understand that the awareness they experience today is the product of a very long journey. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life within a slow and deep process of awakening. 82. The evolution of culture. This idea suggests that human culture did not appear all at once, but slowly took shape over a very long time. Beliefs, traditions, art, knowledge, and ways of living have been passed down and changed across generations, becoming what they are today. In this view, culture is seen as the result of the human effort to adapt not only to nature, but also to one another. The idea of the evolution of culture adds a calm sense of continuity and connection to human life. The human can realize that the habits and values of today are the product of a long shared experience that reaches back to very ancient times. This makes the human more understanding toward both the past and toward others. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of unity. As the human reflects on how culture changes, they can more calmly and fully see that their own life is also part of this long and quiet flow. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long journey of learning together and passing things on. 83. Humans as a social species. This idea suggests that the human is not a being who exists alone, but a species that exists together with others. By nature, the human forms relationships, cooperates, and creates meaning together. Living in groups has shaped not only survival, but also the way humans think, learn, and express themselves. The idea of humans as a social species adds a calm sense of belonging and connection to human life. Through relationships with others, the human can better realize who they are, what they value, and how they see the world. This turns the human from a solitary being into a part of a shared story. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of closeness and a sense of solidarity. As the human realizes that they live and change together with others, they can begin to see their own life within a calmer and more integrated frame. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as existing together and creating meaning together. 84. The tool-using human. This idea suggests that the human is a being who does not simply accept the environment as it is, but develops tools to transform it. From the first simple stone tools to today's complex technologies, this process has moved forward together with the human abilities to think, plan, and learn. Tool use is a quiet but powerful part of the relationship the human has built with nature. The idea of the tool-using human adds a calm sense of creativity and continuity to human life. While producing solutions to meet their needs, the human also slowly reshapes their own world. This shows that the human is not only a being who adapts, but also one who transforms. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of productivity. As the human looks at the tools they have made, they can also see the traces of their own thought and imagination. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a calm process of transformation that moves forward through the accumulation of small inventions and long efforts. 85. How fire changed humanity. This idea suggests that fire was not only a tool in human life, but also a great turning point. By making warmth, protection, and cooking possible, fire deeply changed the relationship the human has with nature. In this view, fire is like a quiet symbol of the human effort to make the environment safer and more livable. The idea of fire changing humanity adds a calm sense of transformation and progress to human life. Thanks to fire, the human extended the night, gathered together, and began to spend more time with one another. This slowly strengthened sharing, storytelling, and thinking. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of gratitude and a sense of wonder. As the human reflects on how a small spark led to such a great change, they can also see their own history within a calmer and more integrated frame. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long journey in which small discoveries create great transformations. 86. The agricultural revolution. This idea focuses on the human transition from a hunter-gatherer way of life to a settled one, and the great transformation this created. Agriculture changed the human relationship with nature and made planning time, waiting, and thinking about the future more important. In this view, agriculture is a turning point that slowly but deeply reorganized the rhythm of human life. The idea of the agricultural revolution adds a calm sense of continuity and responsibility to human life. As the human works the land, they do not only produce food, they also settle, form communities, and develop a shared idea of the future. This process deeply affected human relationships and everyday life as well. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of patience and a sense of commitment. With agriculture, the human begins to feel the flow of time more closely and to think about life in longer terms. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long process of transformation shaped by slow but lasting changes. 87. The birth of civilization. This idea focuses on the movement of humans from small groups toward larger and more organized societies. Settled life, agriculture, division of labor, and shared rules gradually led to the rise of cities and more complex structures. In this view, civilization is seen as the slow but lasting result of the human search for living together and creating order. The idea of the birth of civilization adds a calm sense of continuity and shared purpose to human life. The human begins to strive not only to survive, but also to build a more meaningful and orderly life together. This process slowly multiplies knowledge, art, and thought as well. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of commitment and a sense of responsibility. With civilization, the human feels more clearly that they are responsible not only for their own life, but also for a shared world. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet journey built together. 88. Genetics and human behavior. This idea suggests that some part of human behavior may be connected to inborn biological traits. Genetic structure can influence certain tendencies, reactions, and limits. But this does not mean that the human is completely bound by these patterns. In this view, the human is seen as a shared product of both inherited traits and lived experience. The idea of the relationship between genetics and behavior adds a calm sense of balance and understanding to human life. While the human reflects on where some of their traits may come from, they also become aware of their capacity to change and to learn. This view reduces the human neither only to biology, nor completely separates them from it. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of moderation. Instead of fitting themselves into a single explanation, the human can begin to see themselves as a being shaped by many factors together. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet story written by both nature and experience. 89. The biological basis of human nature. This idea suggests that human emotions, impulses, and some basic tendencies are closely related to the biological structure of the body and the brain. Many fundamental experiences such as hunger, fear, attachment, and curiosity have not only cultural, but also biological roots. In this view, human nature is understood not only through thoughts, but together with the body. The idea of the biological basis of human nature adds a calm sense of wholeness and realism to human life. The human begins to see themselves not only as a collection of ideas, but also as a living, feeling being with needs. This can make the human more understanding toward both themselves and others. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of humility and a sense of openness, as the human realizes that some of their aspects have deep and ancient biological roots. They can come closer to understanding themselves without judgment. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a single process in which body and mind flow together. 90. Humans and the future of artificial intelligence. This idea questions what kind of future humans are moving toward together with the intelligence they have created. Artificial intelligence has joined the human as a new partner in areas such as calculation, learning, and decision-making. In this view, the future is seen as a period shaped not only by nature, but also by the systems humans themselves produce. The idea of humans and artificial intelligence adds a calm sense of attention and responsibility to human life. While using these tools, the human has to think not only about being faster or stronger, but also about what they want to protect. Artificial intelligence can be seen not as something that replaces the human, but as a mirror that helps the human see more clearly how they want to live. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of moderation. As the human looks to the future, they also rethink their values, limits, and purposes. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet journey of trying to remain human while living together with technology. 91. The risk of human extinction. This idea reminds us that humanity's existence is not infinite or guaranteed. Natural disasters, climate changes, pandemics, or dangers created by humans themselves suggest that this long story could one day come to an end. In this view, the human is seen as a species that is fragile as much as it is strong. The idea of the risk of human extinction adds a calm sense of care and responsibility to human life. The human can realize that the future is not only about progress, but also about a balance that needs to be protected. This thought can be read not as something that creates fear, but as a call to live in a more conscious and careful way. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of humility and a sense of care. As the human reflects on their own impermanence, they can feel more clearly the value of protecting today and the world. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a delicate journey that needs to be cared for. 92. The expansion of humanity into space. This idea considers that humans may not remain limited to Earth, but may one day reach out toward other planets and stars. In this view, space is seen not so much as a place to escape to, but as a natural extension of curiosity and the desire to explore. Just as humans once moved across continents, they may one day quietly move toward the sky as well. The idea of humanity spreading into space adds a calm sense of hope and continuity to human life. This can be seen not only as finding new places, but also as another form of the effort to protect and sustain life. As humans take a wider place in the universe, they also need to remember their roots and their fragility. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of moderation. As the human looks at the sky, they can feel how small they are, and yet how much they are part of a very long journey. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long adventure, made of slow and careful steps toward the unknown. 93. This idea focuses on the human desire to go beyond their own limits through technology. Ideas such as strengthening the body, supporting the mind, and extending the length of life reflect the human wish to reshape themselves. In this view, transhumanism can be seen as another stage of continuing to transform. With our own hands, the story that began with nature, the idea of transhumanism adds a calm sense of curiosity and care to human life. While thinking about the wish to become more, the human also has to ask again what it means to remain human. This makes the balance between progress and limits more visible. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of hope and a sense of moderation. As the human becomes aware of the power to shape their own future, they may also begin to think more carefully about how and for what purpose this power should be used. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet journey of trying to protect identity while changing. 94. The union of human and machine. This idea focuses on the human beginning to think about the body and the mind, together with technology, prosthetics, brain-computer interfaces, and intelligent systems, slowly make the boundary between human and machine more permeable. In this view, this union is seen as a natural extension of the human search to repair weaknesses and expand possibilities. The idea of the union of human and machine adds a calm sense of curiosity and care to human life. While thinking about what makes them stronger, the human also begins to question again what makes them themselves. Here, technology appears less as a goal and more as a tool that helps the human see more clearly how they want to live. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of hope and a sense of moderation. As the human becomes aware of the speed of change, they also feel the need to choose its direction more consciously. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long journey that moves forward with technology, while quietly keeping the question of remaining human alive. 95. Consciousness arising in the brain. This idea suggests that consciousness does not come from a separate and mysterious place, but from the complex yet natural workings of the brain. Thoughts, feelings, and awareness are seen as the quiet result of billions of nerve cells working together. In this view, consciousness is not separate from the body, but an experience that rises from within it. The idea of consciousness arising in the brain adds a calm sense of openness and curiosity to human life. When the human looks at their inner world, they can think of it not only as something abstract, but also as the product of a living and working structure. This can make the human feel both closer to themselves and more understandable. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of wonder and a sense of humility. As the human reflects on how such a rich inner world can emerge from a material basis, they can more quietly appreciate the complexity of both the brain and life. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and calm process woven together by body and experience. 96. The evolutionary origins of human behavior. This idea suggests that many human behaviors carry the traces of a very long process of adaptation and survival. Reactions such as sharing, cooperation, fear, or curiosity can be seen as tendencies that helped sustain life not only in today's world, but also in the distant past. In this view, human behavior is not only the result of individual choices, but also the quiet legacy of a long evolutionary journey. The idea of the evolutionary origins of human behavior adds a calm sense of understanding and context to human life. While thinking about why some reactions feel so familiar and so strong, a person may realize that they are part of a very old story. This can make the human gentler and more patient with themselves. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of curiosity and a sense of moderation. As the human sees themselves not as the product of a single moment, but as the continuation of a long past, they can begin to understand their behavior within a wider frame. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and calm process, shaped by small adaptations accumulated over time. 97. The future of humanity. This idea looks at where humanity is heading and how this path might take shape with a calm sense of curiosity. Science, technology, culture, and values are like quiet currents that together determine the direction of humanity. In this view, the future is not a fate written in fixed lines, but a path that is formed again at every step. The idea of the future of humanity adds a sense of responsibility mixed with hope to human life. A person may realize that tomorrow does not arrive on its own, but is slowly shaped by today's choices and habits. This invites not fear, but a more conscious and more careful outlook. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of openness and a sense of moderation. As the human reflects on what they want to protect and what they are ready to change, they can imagine the future in a calmer and more humane frame. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet journey that moves forward in uncertainty, yet with a search for meaning. 98. The fragility of the human species. This idea reminds us that no matter how advanced humans become, they are still delicate and in need of care. Dependent on nature, the climate, and the systems they have built, humans carry their limits alongside their strength. In this view, fragility is not weakness, but a natural part of being. The idea of the fragility of the human species adds a calm sense of care and attention to human life. A person can feel more clearly the value of taking better care of both themselves and the world they live in. This thought stands not as a call to fear, but as a call to more conscious protection and care. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of humility and a sense of compassion. As the human accepts their own sensitivity, they can more easily see the sensitivity of others and of the world. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet journey that must be carried with care. 99. The possibility of humanity's self-destruction. This idea reminds us that the powers humans have developed also carry risks. Technology, weapons, and damage to nature show that humans can take steps that endanger their own future. In this view, the danger appears not as a fate coming from outside, but as a possibility that slowly forms through human choices. The idea of the possibility of humanity's self-destruction adds a calm sense of awareness and responsibility to human life. A person can feel more clearly that progress is not only about moving faster, but also about thinking about direction. This thought invites not fear, but a more careful and more conscious path. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of seriousness and a hopeful sense of care. A person may realize that their future is not completely slipping out of their hands, and that even small and calm decisions can change the direction. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a long and quiet journey that must be carried with care, yet can still be shaped. 100. The cosmic insignificance of humanity. This idea reminds us how small a place humanity occupies in the vastness of the universe. Among billions of galaxies, countless stars, and immense spans of time, humanity can seem like a brief and narrow moment. In this view, the human is not the center of the universe, but a quiet and small part of it. The idea of humanity's cosmic insignificance adds a calm sense of humility and clarity to human life. A person may realize how limited their problems and achievements are on a universal scale. This does not create a feeling of worthlessness, but rather a kind of simplification that lightens burdens and widens perspective. This way of thinking gives existence both a sense of modesty and a sense of calm. Even if the human occupies only a small place in the universe, they can see that they are still able to create meaning within their short time. This perspective offers a gentle way to think about humanity and life as a small, yet still worthwhile moment within infinity. Some questions are not meant to be solved, they only echo in the mind. Tonight, we listened to those echoes. Good night. See you in the next theory. This is Sleepy Theories.